All right, this week we're coming to you with another episode of Self-Care Prescriptions, and today we're talking about self-care and working from home. Me, myself, I call myself an expert in this situation here. So if any of the viewers or followers need comments or expertise, hit me up because I work from home. But we got a lot of folk who working from home, who making an adjustment, some struggling, some doing this thing with ease and wishing they could get more of it. But it's an adjustment, and it throws people out of their routines, or it makes people form new routines. So the reason we're getting at you today, Dr. Robin, is so you can give us some insights, some tips, some pointers on how one can be more efficient, more productive, how they can make this adjustment and get through working at home and doing a little bit of self-care. So the floor is yours. Now bless us with some good info.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad we're talking about this because I feel like this is actually something that I need because I'm also in the midst of making that transition, that adjustment of going into the office. That's my typical, but now I'm working from home. And so it is a challenge. And there are certain obstacles that come with transitioning your whole workspace into your home. And I think it's particularly true for people who have other responsibilities such as kids and having to homeschool them or take care of their education. And at the same time, work doesn't stop, right? So it's a lot of things that we have to navigate. So I'm glad that we're talking about how to take better care of yourself when you're having to work from home. So I have 5 tips that I'm going to share with you today that I hope you'll find useful. So the first one is to set a schedule. So just think about your work space and think about your schedule. Like think about what times of the day are you most productive typically, and set your schedule up around that. So if you're more of a morning person and you like to get a lot done in the morning, then maybe you want to start your workday at home earlier. If not, if you're more of an afternoon person, then maybe you want to do tasks that don't require a lot of mental energy or effort in the morning. But the most important thing is that you set up some kind of routine for yourself so it kind of gets your body and your mind in the mode that, okay, I'm working. Because again, your body is used to home being a refuge, home being where you chill, where you just relax. It's maybe not used to home being a place where you have to work. So you have to help your mind and your body kind of get in the groove and get in the rhythm of working from home. And a part of that is setting a schedule up for yourself. And also related to setting the schedule is setting up a nice workspace for yourself. So think about when you're working, what helps you to feel inspired? What helps you to feel creative? What helps you to feel productive? And what can you do to create a workspace in your home that inspires those things that you need to feel productive, to feel efficient in doing your work at home. So think about also finding a space where you can work in your house where there'll be minimal distractions, because that's also a challenge sometimes when we're working from home. Other people might be there working from home as well. Again, there might be kids in the house. So finding a space where it'll be as little distractions as possible. Also, thinking about making the space really work for you. So again, whatever you need to be productive, to be creative, whether some people that might be putting some quotes on the wall by them that really inspire them and help them remember their reason why they want to keep this job and keep working during this challenging time. For other people, it might be pictures of places that kind of like are really inspirational for you. So whatever you need to really make the space your own, I think that's really important. So that's all comes with setting the schedule and also setting the space that will be conducive for you to be able to work from home. So that's my first tip. Second tip is to have proper expectations. So things are going to look differently working from home. You might not get as much done as you typically would in a regular work day when you were working outside the home. Things might just go wrong. I know a lot of people are doing Zoom calls, and so technology comes into play. Like it just won't be the same as you're used to. So it's important for you to go ahead and set that expectation up front that this is going to be different, this is going to be new, that there might be some different challenges. I might not get everything on my to-do list checked off the way I would if I was in the office or at my work site. So just set the proper expectations so then you won't be so thrown off or caught off guard if things don't go the way that you would like them to. All right. And then, so that also means setting realistic goals, right? So not trying to get a bunch of things done in a given day. Be realistic with yourself about what you can get done. Third, take breaks. This is really important. So this made me actually think back to my first job that I had. I don't know how many people know this, but my first job was Walmart. And when I worked at Walmart, they gave you 3 breaks during an 8-hour shift. So I would have a 15-minute break in the morning, 15-minute break in the afternoon, and then an hour lunch break. A lot of us don't give ourselves that on our work sites, but when you're working from home, you might have the luxury to be able to have those breaks. And we know from research that breaks actually help us to be more productive, to be more efficient, to conserve our mental energy, to recharge ourselves in the middle of a workday. So definitely set aside that time to take breaks. And the purpose of a break is, again, to recharge you, to get you back ready to give your all when you get back to work. So when you do take those breaks, don't take work with you. Like, try to get out the house, like maybe go for a walk, or listen to a podcast that you might want to listen to, or listen to some music. Like, do something that really gets your mind off the work for that time, because this is your break and you have deserved and earned the break. So really give yourself that break. And also for people who typically eat through their lunch, give yourself that time too, to really just step away from the computer screen and take that break. Do you know that looking at a screen for hours and hours on end can be so strenuous on our eyes? Holding that position of typing on the computer screen, that can be really hard on your wrists, like to start having pain or carpal tunnel symptoms. So you really want to think about kind of changing your position, changing your posture, actually getting up when you're taking those breaks. But make sure you set frequent breaks for yourself. I would say at least one in the morning, at least one in the afternoon, and one in the middle of the day for lunch. But it could be more if you wanted to, but at a minimal, take at least, I would say, 3 breaks in a given workday, because you need that to keep the energy flowing. But with breaks too, I will say, make sure you set boundaries around the breaks, right? So make sure that when you do take a break, that you set how long that break is going to be when you go on the break. Because what can happen is you can say, oh, I'm going to take a 15-minute, I'm just going to take a quick break, but then it turns into you intended 15 minutes, but you're there for an hour scrolling social media, right? And you've like taken away precious time that you could have been doing your work. So make sure you set boundaries around taking the break. Say up front how long I'm going to take this break for. And if it's helpful to you, even setting a timer on your phone or on your microwave so that it goes off to remind you that, oh, it's time to get back to work now, because it can be easy to just get off track. My 4th tip, create as much community as possible for yourself. So make sure that you are connecting, if you can, with your coworkers. So there may be ways that you can, again, have Zoom meetings, Zoom calls with people. The purpose in creating this community is to remind yourself that you're not alone. A lot of times our work is just stressful in and of itself. And when you find like you're in isolation and you're doing it alone, that can feel really difficult and really hard. So you want to kind of create this sense of community, even if people don't work in your same workspace, but they're also having to work from home. Surrounding yourself with those people, checking in with them, sharing the challenges that you're having, but also sharing the wins that you have. And it's really important during this time too that you watch who you talk to consistently, because there's so much anxiety, so much fear, and so much stress, and you don't want to be internalizing that's coming from other people. So make sure the people that you're creating community with are actually giving you positivity and depositing positivity into you, so that you can continue to go on with your workday and not kind of be dreading it or hate that day. All right. And then the 5th and final tip that I have for you is give yourself grace, right? Be flexible. You might set out in a given day and you had planned for Tuesday to be the day that you knock out this really challenging task, but then you wake up that day and you're just really not feeling it. And maybe you want to do more monotonous, mindless tasks that day that still need to get done, but they're not the thing that you intended to get done. It's okay. Give yourself grace. Be flexible. Things are going to be different during this time. Just be used to that. But also just know that you're doing the best that you can do, and be okay with that. That the work will still be there for you the next day, and it will be okay. But you deserve that grace, because again, this is not something that we plan for. It's not something that we brought upon ourselves, but it's a situation that we find ourselves in. And so you deserve to kind of give yourself some grace and realize that you're doing the best that you can do given the circumstances.
Well, we appreciate you for those self-care tips when working from home, and we hope this is going to be able to help someone during this whole COVID-19 situation, or just people that work from home or, going through whatever they're going through. So once again, Dr. Robin, we appreciate you for your time and your expertise.
Yes. See you next time.
Thank you for taking better care of you and for listening to another episode of Self-Care Prescriptions. Stay connected and tuned up with Dr. Robin Gobin. Visit robingobin.com or follow us on all platforms at Dr. Robin Gobin. Stay healthy and stay balanced with Self-Care Prescriptions.